Candidates on both sides of the aisle are lining up to be Colorado's next governor. Mitch Jelniker talked to Larimer County Commissioner Lew Gaiter this week about why he wants to be the man who replaces John Hickenlooper.
Thanks, Ann. I'm here with Larimer County Commissioner Lew Gaiter, and you were appointed to be the commissioner. This was at the northern part of the county about 7 years ago, and so you live up near Fort Collins way. How does that lead to you where we are today, where you want to be a candidate for governor?
Well, thanks, Mitch, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. The being able to be in Larimer County, it's a great county. It's very eclectic. The northern district of Larimer County is a mirror of Colorado. You have the city of Fort Collins, Colorado State University, downtown Fort Collins, very populous, very dense. And then you get north near the Wyoming state line, where you have areas like Wellington, Sand Creek, where it's really miles per person, very rural, very non-urban. So I have a very urban and a very rural district, which I believe is a microcosm of the state of Colorado. Learning how to deal with the issues that are just in my district, let alone the county, have helped me understand some of the issues that we deal with as a state in Colorado. We
have a great state here. We have many opportunities. We also have some challenges. Let's break those down and talk about those. What do you see as opportunities for this great state?
I think one of the big opportunities that we have is learning to work together. We have a lot of people in elected office who really want to do the best for the citizens of the state of Colorado. Our challenges are sometimes reasonable people disagree, and sometimes we get locked in those disagreements, and that's created some chasms for us. And those aren't just political chasms. Sometimes those are chasms. I mentioned the rural and urban. When you come into Metro Denver, you talk about some of the issues there, and they're big and they're important, and yet you get out in the rural areas, and like Denver's got a great economic recovery going. There's been a lot of great things. You drive down here, you see all the cranes and everything, the building, the construction, and yet you get out in rural Colorado and people are concerned, the jobs aren't there, the recovery isn't happening as well there. So what can we do to work statewide to make sure that the economy and the opportunities that are happening in our metro area can also be reflected in our rural areas?
Interesting you say that, because I think if you interviewed a lot of people in the heart of the metro area along the Front Range, right, it's pretty prosperous, and they would tell you that things are going well. You're saying, though, you get out into the rural areas, maybe that's lagging somewhat.
Oh, absolutely. As a county commissioner, I have the opportunity to talk with county commissioners from around the state, and there are commissioners in different parts of the state that are absolutely concerned about property values. The Gallagher Amendment is a classic example. It's one of the things that's happening with the statewide property assessment rate being up. It's forced a reassessment of the tax assessment rate. Okay, that's too technical. The bottom line is the number that is used to decide what your property taxes are is determined statewide. And it's based on property values in the industry and how things go statewide. Denver is driving that. When you get to areas like La Junta or way out in the southern or even northern Colorado, those property values aren't doing the same thing they are in Denver. And what happens is you have some counties that have potentially looked at a negative result in their property taxes from 2 years ago.
What could you do to change that?
Well, you have to work with the legislature, because Gallagher is in the state constitution. So it's not an easy change. It's not an easy fix. You have to work with the legislature to say, what can we do to address that property tax rate? Can we change it, go up when the times are good? Maybe that's the wrong answer. I don't know. For me, the big question is, can we make that assessment rate regional and not statewide? That would perhaps be the single biggest thing that we can do.
You were also in the IT industry for a while in your career, and I know every state has some issues there in making that as comprehensive as they'd like. And here again, it may be the rural areas that suffer. How could we improve that?
One of the things that I'm a big champion for is rural broadband. My background is computers, information technology, and the last bit of that was computer networking and network management, and I love computers and networking. One of the things that I've seen living in a rural area now is when we lived right up against Fort Collins city limits, we had 100 megabit internet. It was great. We loved it. Now we're out in the hinterlands, and our internet is satellite. And our provider is great. However, if we get 10 megabits, that's a great day. Oftentimes, it's not that good. And we knew that. We knew that when we moved out. However, being able to have reliable internet has become one of the things that we as a society are looking for. We do online banking, you can do grocery shopping, even telemedicine now is a big thing. And I see telemedicine as a big area in the rural parts of Colorado where you can have a doctor who's willing to call in, help you diagnose a problem, and, you know, let me take a look at you and turn your webcam, and, well, the bandwidth is too slow, so it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's a
roadblock there.
It's a roadblock. Yeah.
When I was a kid growing up here in the 60s and 70s, we kind of fashioned ourselves as an energy state. Perhaps we're better diversified now, but still, we're also known for our great beauty. You live up north where we have Rocky Mountain National Park. How do we serve both our natural resources and our energy industry?
And that's a great question. I think we have to be responsible stewards of our environment. And for me, that means we do look at energy, how we utilize energy. Do we take advantage of and utilize alternative energy sources? Do we use wind? Do we use solar? I think we have to do those. The challenge is we cannot do those and say, okay, we're done with gas. We're done with coal. We're still going to use fossil fuels for a while, and we need to understand how can we responsibly use those. As I talk to people in the oil and gas industry, they want to be good stewards of the environment. It's not the old days of strip mining. They really want to find out how can we work with our neighbors to do things, and a lot of those companies want to be on the forefront of alternative energy.
Before we're out of time, let's give viewers another introduction to you.
Sure.
What's something else we should know about you, the voters out there?
Oh, I'm a Colorado native. And I'm a 25-year retired member of the Loveland Volunteer Ski Patrol, so I love skiing, although this was my first full retired year and I barely got skiing. So I love skiing. It's one of my favorite pastimes.
Very good. All right, Lew Gaiter, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
Good to get to know you a little bit better.
You too.
We appreciate
Thanks, Mitch.
it.